Weekly update number 17, and it's been a busy week, a bit of a crazy one to be honest. The weekly update last week you'd have seen was maybe a little bit shorter than this one this week, because I travelled back to the UK last Friday and came back here Wednesday, and I had to publish it from the UK on a laptop. I really couldn't be a remote worker, I don't think. I get away with a few days on a laptop, but I couldn't. I definitely feel more comfortable with a desktop. UK trip was great. It was just a pre-summer trip to go and see family. What you'll find, and I wanted to mention this on the weekly update, is when you're planning and you're moving over here and stuff like that, is what you'll find is that you may not travel much in summer when you're here, and it creeps up on you quite quickly, especially for people with families and stuff. It can be quite expensive to travel in summer, and for those of you who are retired and maybe moved into that final ideal property you've always wanted to be in, you know, you've been dreaming of during your whole working life, finally moved to Spain, got your visa or got your residency, you know, your family are going to come and visit you, hopefully, enjoy their summer holidays with you, you know. So and I realized that with the children being off now, I mean, it's the 18th of May already, so another month and they're off school for the best part of 3 months. We weren't going to get back this summer to the UK, so I had to travel back, and I wanted to travel back and see some family who can't travel, and because I won't now see them till after summer or maybe even this year. So it was a good trip back. Malaga airport was fantastic. All horror reports about huge queues and stuff, but I have to say going out was good. Arriving back in, my heart sunk when I arrived at passport control, because there was like 5 lines of people going up and down, but there was 6 police on duty, and I have to say that they really were pushing them out quickly, and we only stood in the queue for 15 minutes, so that was great. One thing I did notice coming back into Spain was the complete confusion of people which line to stand in. You had the EU queue to the left and the non-EU queue, all other passports, to the right, which was full Spanish, I have to say. So then I looked at it and thought, well, it's not actually that clear, because it does say EU, but then it says all other passports. And if Spanish don't normally travel with passports because they've got their DNE, unless they're going to the UK. So if it's the first time traveling with a passport, I could understand that confusion, to be honest with you. But as I say, it was a great trip in and out, and I did a video on that, with that trip. My son wanted to get involved in a video, and he actually produced and edited this video, so please check the link out below. So what else has been happening in the UK at the BLS offices? Well, we have had 3 appointments go through this week. Excuse me, what's going on here? So first of all, Chris, thank you very much. Gone to Edinburgh. He's going to give me a write-up and just drop me a note to say that everything went okay. Check out this photo. This is his packs and his passports ready to go. This is what we like to see. Your Upsticks folder there, ready to go. I think now the BLS offices are starting to recognise that when our folders slammed on their desk, that they are well organised. So so that's great. He said Edinburgh have an updated checklist. So they had to print off a new one and sign it. The documents appear to be in a different order, so we need to check that out. And the appointment took about 40 minutes. That's quite a long appointment for Edinburgh, to be honest. Excuse me. And coffee. But we're not going to stop the video. Next one, Janet and Dave just wanted to say that the appointment went well. And they've been brilliant getting their paperwork together. Cheers, guys. With the help of the family as well. We had nearly an hour on the phone going through the booking appointment system, which completely collapsed on us at one point, and I was ready to give it up and say, look guys, we're gonna have to do this another day. And we had one last go, and we got in, got the appointment booked, and fantastic, they've been to their appointment and got through, and now they're waiting for their visa in Manchester. And another one from Manchester here, our client Jason, basically said, I think it went well. The guy couldn't believe how organised we were we and you were. Even asked to name your company to recommend you to people. So that was nice. One thing though, they took our photos off the form and didn't take others off us. So they took the photos of the form but didn't take other photos of them. We had to get our photos took there. Okay, yeah, so this is something that we're advising clients at the moment to do, but I'm thinking now to take it out of our protocol. So BLS have started to take photos of you digitally. Now, it was a bit rocky start when they did this, because there was one day that a client went and they didn't, and one day a client went and they did, then they didn't and they did. So up to now, we've always been advising clients to take a passport photo anyway, in case they don't have the digital photo system up and running. I think I might change that now, because it's looking pretty stable. So I think the advice is, if you're listening to the BLS, don't need to take a photo because they take one of you there. Our advice, or his belts and braces, maybe if you've got a passport photo, keep it in your wallet in case one is requested. But moving forward, I don't think we're going to be telling our clients to stick them on the application forms, because all of our clients are coming back and saying that they're taking them off. So yeah, digital photos being taken at the BLS offices, just in case it's not working one day. Probably a good idea to have a passport photo in your wallet anyway. Okay then, so that's what's been happening in the UK. Let's move on to what's been happening here in Spain. So moving on to what's happening in Spain and stage 2. And I've just realised as I'm starting this part of the video that because I've recorded this one slightly after I did the first one, I've left my bag at home with a microphone in it. Again, one of these days I'll get it right. I honestly will, but never mind. We'll have to carry on, won't we? So, right, what's happening in Spain? Well, first of all, a bit of chaos in Alicante, in the MURCIA extranjeria. So if you're coming to Alicante and you're registering your visa, or you're an EU family member, or you need a TIE card under any sort of format, you'll have to go and register your permission for that TIE card at the extranjeria. And one of the ones that we use, because we can get appointments there, is in a place called Campo de Mira in Alicante. And you can see these photos. We've been sent these photos through by our client Neil. Thank you, Neil, for your constant info and constant support of the channel. During the whole process, Neil's given me loads of information to get out there for you guys on the weekly updates, and he's getting right to the end of his journey now and be picking up his TIE card soon. But he met Victoria, who also sent me some of these photos that you can see now, last week, and it is getting very, very, very busy in the office. It's even harder to get appointments, and they're no longer at the moment letting our service, our appointment specialist, in with clients, so they hang about outside in case there is a problem. So we will still give you a full rundown of what happens, your complete folder. You go in, register your fingerprints, come out. If there is a need for a translator, they come out and get our translator. So it's all under control. It's just a lot more busy, as you can see. So the other day, there was just loads of people there, and the reports we got back was it was so busy. So when you do go to these appointments, the best thing is to obviously meet us 10 minutes before, but make sure you have no other time constraints or obligations afterwards, because it can go on for a little while. And a couple of bits of advice from our Victoria here, who meets you all there, you guys, is there's 2 rope queues. The one on the left is the I'm going to read this up probably. Appointments queue behind the rope downhill. Sorry, the downhill. So on the left, looking from the front door, looking to the left in Tira Campo de Mira in Alicante, is the appointments queue, and that is always in direct sun. So sun hat, sun cream, and water. Definitely bring it with you. On the right, you've got the TIE card pickup appointments. So you don't actually have to have an appointment, but you have to go there to pick up your card. We suggest that you get there around 10:30, 11, but don't forget that queue is closed out at 10:45, because they don't want to give you any more cards after 12 o'clock. Sometimes that's a little bit more in the shade, but both of these queues you're definitely going to need to make sure that you are protected from the sun. Okay, so there's no real need to meet us any more than 10-15 minutes before your appointment. But if you are stood there for half an hour, 45 minutes waiting to get in, it can be very, very hot this time of the year, and they have no shade at all. And they don't particularly care in, you know, whether how hot it is out there for you. They're busy enough doing the appointments. Okay, so that is a bit of info from stage 2, getting your visa registered in Spain and what's happening in Alicante. We also have some info back from a client who is going to Arona in Tenerife. Now, they seem to be extremely strict with the paperwork for the padron. Okay, so if you are going to Arona and you're renting a property in the town hall of Arona, which is, actually I think it's Playas de las Americas, is the, I have to check that now. Yes, Playas de las Americas, Los Cristianos, Palma, Las Galletas, all those places, very popular places for people to move to. That falls under the town hall of Arona, and they seem to be very strict. So they definitely want copies of the owner's documents. If you're renting off somebody, the contract has to be legal under LAU law, has to be signed on every single page. All of your documents have to be correct. And if eventually they accept it, they'll give you the padron on the day. So Arona, make sure of always when you go to padron appointments, you need to make sure that your documents are correct. But certainly in Arona, we've been told it's one of the stricter ones. And a couple more bits that I've picked up from the news actually. Check this out. Transfer in Murcia and Malaga begin on the 1st of June. That's great news. I'm going to leave you a link to this article below, so check that out. That is that's great because it's a lovely drive up to Murcia, but there was no direct link. So the fact they're starting on the 1st of June, it may even facilitate people who need to fly, people doing their discovery trips. Imagine if you could fly into Malaga, check out the area, jump on a train, boom, down to Murcia, check out that area. It's a great thing that that's happening. So transfer Malaga Murcia begin on the 1st of June. Loving that. What else have we picked up on here from the Euro Weekly News? Now this was something that I picked up on. Ambassador to Spain calls for change. So Hugh Elliott, who is our ambassador to Spain here, all of you probably remember Hugh Elliott from the driving licence updates, which, to be honest, in the end, I mean, it definitely wasn't Hugh's fault, we know that, but they got embarrassing towards the end, didn't they? I think he was definitely the scapegoat for whatever negotiations was going on with those. Every time he came up and said something, it was like, it'll be next week, and it was just, he took an awful lot of flack, I think, for that. But anyway, that's in the past. The driving licence still was done eventually. But it's just, I noticed this article talking about people just behaving themselves on holiday when they come. Britain's ambassador here has called on UK holiday makers to exhibit responsible behaviour amidst Mallorca's intensified efforts to control alcohol-fuelled tourism. Speaking during a visit to Carabinero, he emphasised the need for British tourists to remember they are guests and to act responsibly. Elliott took up the post of ambassador, non-resident ambassador extraordinary to Andorra in August 2019. Yeah, look, it's so easy to get carried away, isn't it? I suppose when people come on holiday and have too much to drink. I think this is probably focused on that sort of Magaluf area of Mallorca, which I've never been to, but I think it goes off there quite a bit. But you've got to remember that now also being non-EU citizens, if you do get arrested here, you're likely to be detained for a while until it's sorted out, maybe sent to the quick courts, who knows. So yeah, just thought I'd bring that up. If you're going to Magaluf this year and planning on going wild, just take it easy. What else have we got here highlighted on my emails? Let's have a look. Right, so that is, oh yes, and this one here, very, very important. This email and update came from the gov.uk. I'm going to put again a link below to this. Basically, when the new biometric EES system comes in to play to control people coming in for the EU's entry exit scheme, the EES, if you're a Brit and you're here within the withdrawal agreement, you will need a biometric card to get in and out. So everybody who's still holding on to that green card, there's no excuse of having a green card now. I'm very sorry, but there just isn't. You've had 4.5 years to get it swapped, okay, with special appointments for the first year. So if you've got a green card still, you need to get it swapped. I know there was lots of information saying the green card's still valid, and if you're a holder of the green card, you're still a person who has rights under the withdrawal agreement. And I said from day one, you need to get it switched, right? Or it's just don't hold on to it, get it switched. But you really do now if you plan to travel, because when they implement the EES system, you will no longer be able to travel without a biometric card as a resident. So check out this article anyway, it's explained there, I don't need to read it out for you. But if you are a beneficiary of the withdrawal agreement and you've got a green card, you need to switch it. Evidently, cheap promo here, if you're in Malaga, we can help you. So that's it for what's happening in Spain. Let's move on with the YouTube videos. So our YouTube review. Now what I've been doing on the YouTube is I realised that if I don't respond to comments, because what I used to do is normally try and get to the end of the day, respond to our YouTube comments. What I'm doing is not going to respond and then answer a lot of the questions on the weekly update. So if you guys got any questions, then just put them on the videos which relate to that question, and I will try and answer them on the weekly updates instead of putting written answers at the bottom of them. So one, that keeps people engaged with the weekly updates, and two, it's a little bit easier for me. And I realized there was I haven't responded tab on the YouTube studio thing, which means that it gives me the cues to the questions that we need to answer. So I'm gonna go now and start with, so if I don't answer your questions straight away in the video, please check out the weekly updates and I'll try and answer them there. Okay then, so we've got here, we're going to go backwards from the top down until we get to the oldest one, but the latest question we had is on our 6-month rule abolished. Now I must have done really well with the title of that video because it went viral, 10,000 views. I'll have to do another one. And that wasn't about the 190, 180, it was about the rule of if you're a temporary resident and they can't stop you from renewing your residency now if you haven't been here for the 6 months. Check the video out, I'm not going to go into that now, but it's on our channel. And the question to that video was, why is it a Spanish citizen has 6 months in the UK unbroken with the rights to work? Exclamation mark, exclamation. Meanwhile, UK citizens we have 90 to 180 rule and no right to work. This is a joke. You can see Brexit was purely punitive against Brits because we should have reciprocation, and it is now everyone else has more rights than the UK citizen, and that includes more rights to the UK than we have rights outside of it. Evil ruling class imposed this. Voting doesn't count and democracy isn't real. We live under tyranny. Do you know what? There's not really a question, but it's something I wanted to read out. Brexit, people haven't forgotten about Brexit and the rights that have been lost. People are still very frustrated about it. And yeah, you know what? Not all comments are going to be positive comments about the video. And while it's SH1T9734, thanks for commenting on the video, and I hope that, you know, airing it out on the video and showing your frustrations, you know, has helped, really. That's all I can comment on that. But yeah, Brexit. Joff Day, great job as usual, thanks Chris. Joff, been speaking to you lately, I know you're speaking to Jane, so great to keep in touch. A really useful video, thank you. That was on our tax return video with Antonio, so check that out below. Maria Pai, thank you for the video. That's on the tax return one as well. Now, Tim Whistle, a few questions from Tim Whistle on 3 of my different videos. So, and thanks for these comments. Great video on the registering a classic vehicle from the UK to Spain video. Great video. I'm thinking of buying and importing from America to the UK a 1949 Plymouth Business Co. I don't know what that is. I'd have to research that. And upgrading the engine. This video is useful but may suggest inverting the video as I cab tell. The recording is inverted in reverse and the loop on the screen shows this. The word unstick is in reverse. It's upsticks actually, and the video can be inverted so it shows up. Thanks for letting us know that you're going to buy a car. I would suggest that if you buy a classic car and you're going to register it anywhere in Spain, that you don't do any engine upgrades, because in theory you shouldn't have any modifications to a classic car. And I apologise for not having the video inverted. At that point in my video editing career, I hadn't worked out how to do it. I was just getting information out there. So I will, as you'll see from this video, I have worked out how to do that now, albeit I keep forgetting my microphone. So poco poco, as they say in Spanish, we keep getting a little bit better every time. During the video, this was on the Malaga to Mazaron video. During the video, you mentioned criminal records. I asked, given you mention it, if the criminal record is considered spent in the UK, are the individuals not allowed into Spain if it's considered spent in the UK? I enjoy your informative videos. Again, thanks, Tim Whistle TV. What we can say about that is we've got an article on our website regarding acro, which I will put down below. So let me write that down as well, so I remember to do it when I edit this. Acro article. And check that article out. Now, when you go to the consulate or the BLS office, you will have to have on your acro certificate no live trace or no trace to be guaranteed that they'll accept it. But check out the article below. Chris McMillan, who's just been for his appointment, excellent video again, Chris. Also interested about the food and wine, and good addition to the updates. Okay, thanks. We've got some food coming next, so check it out. What else have we got in the way of comments? Shroudy 100 on our video yesterday with Scats. Anyone and everyone, what make of car should I buy in Spain? My son's a mechanic in Spain, says Japanese due to their reliability, though every make has its dodgy range. I'll be living in the mountains of Almeria with plenty of rambles, just me, but I have a family and grandkids, so potentially a saloon size car. Yeah, a saloon or an SUV. Now Kia, well, I've got a Kia Sportage, very basic one, and it's a basic SUV, and there's millions of them in Spain, and so they must be doing something right. So Kia is very popular here due to Rafa Nadal. He was the protagonist of Kia for a long time and sold a lot of cars for them, I think. So yeah, what other cars do you see regularly around here, which are SUVs? You'd see a lot of BMWs and Mercedes, as you do in every country, if that's the sort of price range you're looking at. Kia is obviously half of that. And don't see many Land Rovers. We do on the coast. In Costa del Sol you see a lot of Land Rovers, but you don't really see them generally up and down. Toyotas, great. RAV4s, you do see a lot of RAV4s. So there's a couple of suggestions from our observations driving around. Next one is Linda6131. Please can you clarify, you get a date in your visa but you can enter Spain up to 90 days afterwards. When you arrive in Spain, does the car, what date goes on a TAE card? Do you have a month to get the card from your entry date? Okay, that's a good question. So you have a visa which is dated for 90 days. You have to have an entry stamp into Spain before that visa expires, and that is normally what they put as your start date for the residency. If your visa expires, make sure you do not leave after the visa expired until you've registered your visa. Okay, and do you have to register in 30 days? Yet this is what the BLS and consulates tell you. In practice, it's virtually impossible to do so because of the lack of the appointments. The main thing you have to remember is keep that stamp before the expiry date and do not travel after your visa expires. And now comment on our 10 tips to Malaga airport video, which I did. My son Raul is very, very excited to get involved in the channel. He would like his own channel, but I'm not very comfortable with that yet. But I said to him, look, maybe you can work with me and help me with mine, and he was over the moon to do so. And ours, and he wants to do also a video about learning Spanish because he's a bilingual child who's grown up here, and I think we're sort of doing that now. Let me know if you'd like to see that video, because he has evidently a native accent, whereas my Spanish is very good, but I'm still an adult who learned Spanish in Spain, and there's still that twinge of English accent in there. So Jed Turney said very few people use large luggage in the hold option with Ryanair. The result for those of us that do use it is I found that when I travelled to Seville that the baggage was ready for collection on the carousel when we got there. This has been my experience across the board. Never had to wait. Great video. I'll be out in Malaga in the autumn. Such a beautiful country, and if it wasn't for my poor health I'd be out there in a heartbeat, which coincidentally is one of my problems. Oh, sorry Jed. Well listen, Jed, it's great that you're watching our videos as well, and if you've got any suggestions for videos that you want me to do, let me know and we'll put it down on our list. Alan Kez, thanks. Smashing video. Father and son, great team. Thank you. Glad to see you didn't have the return flight for them games. They did. Yeah, they went back to France from Malaga, and it was a nightmare for them. Okay, then I think that's a summary of our YouTube bids, and now just a few more bits and bobs that I've basically highlighted. I've been saving photos and stuff which I thought you might find interesting about living in Spain. So anyway, yes, we've got, first of all, I just wanted to show you this really. This is a few reviews that we've had on our website with Google. So we've got one there from Chris, thanks Chris, another one there from Julie and Jason, and another one there, we'll bring it up, from Dave and Lucia. All on NLVs, and it was just great to get your feedback, guys, and I just can't thank you enough for taking the time for giving us a review and sticking it on Google, because that helps people find us as well. So it's a constant battle, not only to do the jobs, but to keep new people coming in and finding new clients, and that's why I do these weekly updates, because they seem to work really well for people who want to engage with us or just keep an eye on what's going on until they want to engage. And also getting reviews is a great way as well for people to find us. So thank you guys. Check those reviews out. I will put the review link below. There you go. Google link review, or just Google Upsticks in Spain and you'll get it. And what else do we have here? Okay, yeah, we have oh, this is a photo that I didn't show you. Here we go, of the Manchester BLS. There we go, look at that. We can thank Robbo for that. Thank you, Robbo. Cheers, he sent that across again, giving me so much feedback for me to get out for you guys, for future clients and our clients which are going through the community. I love it, absolutely enjoying it at the moment, getting that information out to you guys, and also talking to our clients and their feedback from everything that they do. It is invaluable. So also there's a couple of things I wanted to show you here on the food front, because you know we do like to show you a bit of food now and then. And I thought you might find it interesting to order these things. Now this here is called a fideuà. That's kind of a it comes in many different forms, but it's not something as common that you would know as a paella. It is actually fideos, which is a very small thin bit of pasta, and they cook it in a paella dish, and depending, there's all sorts of them. You can have black ones which are done with squid ink, you could have meat ones, but generally these are fish. And this was a prawn one, and I had this just before I travelled to the UK because it's quite an easy dish. You have to ring ahead really to order. So if you find a restaurant, then ring ahead. And this, you wouldn't believe it there, but it's so hard to cook properly. So to get it cooked properly, it's like a pasta type, very small thin pastas, but it can't be soft. And when it's like cooked like that there, it gets slightly crunchy at the bottom, but very slightly. And on top you'll see there's also mayonnaise, garlic mayonnaise, which we know as ali oli. I haven't attempted to cook one of these yet. So I'm very good at my paellas, but I'm going to do one of these because I'm going to attempt it, but they're very hard to cook properly. That dish there was €7 per person, and then you ask for the amount of people that you want to eat on the dish. So that was for, we actually got it for 3 of us, although there's 4 of us. We shared it out between us and had a couple of tapas to fill in any gaps. But yeah, that is a fideuà, and I will put a link to that below. All these links you're getting today, loads of links for your Spain research. Now this is, I wanted to show you this because this is also something that we had, because my sister-in-law and Jessie from Monster Radio and Upsticks in Lanzarote, she helps our clients over there, bit of a local celeb over there she is. She stayed over with with Lara during the time that I was away in the UK, and I came back and I saw her we only had a couple of days where we had to go through a few things and see her, and before she left we desperately wanted to go out for a paella, and we had this. Again, this, I normally go for a paella which is caldoso, so it's got lots of juice and it almost comes like a soup. But because we'd had the fideuà and it was dry, so it comes with absolutely no moisture at all, we decided to have a short grain paella with what they call carabineros. Now, carabineros are those 2 prawns that you can see there, and it's a big red prawn. It's I think they call them scarlet prawns in English. I don't know. Again, I'll find a recipe below, and I will put it below for you, and then you can see what it is and do your own googling on that. But if you ever go to a restaurant and you see either arroz caldoso de carabineros or arroz de carabineros, I suggest you have it. Okay, it is fantastic. The caldoso version, so the soupy version, the prawns give such a strong flavour, a lot more than a lobster rice or something else to it, and it's really good, almost earthy. And the drier version is slightly sweeter, I'd say, but then you get complemented it with there's if you'll see in the rice, there's this thing called bota, which is like a calamari type fish, and the prawns which come, and you normally get 1 prawn per person. So we ordered it for 2 plus tapas, and then just shared it out between us, because if you have a big one, then you don't fancy eating anything else, and you do like to try and experiment with flavours as well, don't we? And then the very last photo I wanted to show you about living in Spain, and this is a topic that came up yesterday when I was talking to some friends of mine who kindly invited us around for lunch, and they made sushi, believe it or not. It was absolutely gorgeous. Never made it myself, will learn. And we were talking about palm trees, because I said, oh, I took this wonderful photo of our palm tree the other day and I put it on my channel, and then I noticed that my friend's palm tree hadn't been shaved, because if you've got a palm tree you have to have them shaved every year, so they look nice and tidy and take off the old leaves which have died and hanging down. And I asked him why, and then I came up, because I'm going to tell you what, we've got 1 palm tree in our back garden and we haven't had it shaved at all. But the reason we haven't had it shaved is because it's like a bird village. There's just so many birds. Now, it's quite horrific this time of year because all the fledglings are falling down and you think they're going to die, but don't touch a fledgling, you've just got to leave it. And then we've got sparrows in ours, actually, and occasionally we have this hawk which comes and unfortunately has its dinner from our palm tree and plucks the odd one out of it. But, you know, that's nature. And now we're at the point where the fledglings are falling out, and I just can't believe how they don't die when they hit the floor, but they don't. And after about a day of hopping around, the mother or the father, I suppose, sparrow comes down, they keep feeding it, and it flies off. We had one which flew directly into our house under the sofa, so we locked the cat away, closed all the doors, just left it, and closed all the inside doors, left the outside door open, and it just hopped out in the end and flew off. So fledglings, I've read on the internet, I'm a YouTube expert on them now, not supposed to touch them unless you absolutely have to, but I was worried that we were doing harm to the tree by not keeping it clean. Maybe it wouldn't grow as well or whatever. Speaking to my friend yesterday, he said exactly the same thing. He said he's got 2. I said, why is one of yours done and the other one not? He said, we did 1 and it was just horrific. He said the guy was up there shaving it off. There was just birds everywhere and the nests on the floor. He said, stop. just leave them. Leave them there. I'm not pretentious about how my palm tree looks. So I'm going to do the same, and you know, live and let live. Birds, have the palm tree. I'll clean up all the mess that you keep throwing down. Hopefully the fledglings live and the hawk has its dinner now and then, unfortunately, and just let nature be nature, you know. So just bear that in mind when you're looking at your palm trees. And I know they do like to look nice, but if you have got a whole village like we have, or an ecosystem of birds living in it, just leave it alone, really. In fact, and it sounds lovely when you're listening to them, they do sometimes have a scrap and a fight. And don't forget as well that birds generally eat bugs. So the more birds, less bugs, even better. It's a win-win, isn't it? Okay then guys, thanks for watching. It's been another fun weekly update. Sorry for getting my microphone again. I will get this right one day. Weekly update 17. If you like the channel or got any questions, please ask me below. Any suggestions for videos, please ask me below. We have got a huge suggestion for a video about buying a vehicle in Spain. I have got it scripted. It's on my list. I've got it half recorded, and I'm going to get that out very, very, very soon. Thanks for watching.